Hey everybody, it is Suzanne Worthley, energy practitioner with a little bit of a forecast for the June 2021 time period. For those of you that might not be aware of the work that I do, I have a online community called Vibe Tribe. You can check it out on my site if you choose to at sworthley.com. But I pull a tarot card every month for my community people. And we talk extensively and give out all kinds of really in-depth information on the theme of that tarot card. And I'm just going to share a little bit of it with you today in terms of what the messages that I got and how that applies to the energy that we're dealing with right now. The Seven of Cups is the card that we're looking at, and the Seven of Cups oftentimes is a sign of wishes. And it can also be wishes that are unfulfilled and unlived fantasies and projecting into the future and kind of daydreaming. And this is a really, really important time for us to kind of examine what this means because we at this point in time have many, many, many energies happening. Within this month of June, we've got kind of this upsurge. We've got our eclipse going on. We've got, a lot of changes happening. We've got a lot of rumblings going out there within the Schumann resonance in our earth and in the cosmos out there. And we're kind of stuck sandwiched in the middle of all of that. And if our humanness, our body, our container, our vehicle of source that we're working with here is not present in ourself, we can then really be out of touch. And escapism is part of the process that we're talking about in our Vibe Tribe community this month. It is a traditional meaning on this card, not one of the better sides of the card in terms of this can be a difficult thing. We want to run away. We want to hide. We want to go drink, eat, smoke, do whatever to get out of our present container or our present situation or the fear that we're stuck in this month. And this isn't necessarily in the long term the greatest way. However, we also can look at escapism this month as sort of like an okay thing if we're doing it in a balanced and harmonic way. So, meaning maybe I'm just in over my head. Maybe I've got just too much stuff going on. There's so many energies coming at me. There's so many things that I'm moving through that maybe I'm just going to take a break. I'm just going to go read for a couple hours, or I'm going to take off for the week and I'm going to go hang up at the cabin. So we can indeed look at this card in terms of living this fantasy and maybe way too much overwhelmed in a positive manner and learn how to work through it as long as we're doing it in harmony and in balance. But this card, reversed and upright, also gives us really big warnings of make sure that we're working in our divine vehicle. This card is about the divine spark inside of us too, because this actual time period, we've got so many things going on, so many overwhelming, focuses. We've got options. We've got over the top choices to make. Sometimes when that's that much, we're just frozen in fear. And so it's important for us to stay present and actually use our physicalness in terms of our body, but also our emotions and our mental mind, and yes, our spirit. So wishing can be a powerful thing. We can find forward movement because of wishing, as long as we're focusing and we're doing it on behalf of our highest and best good. This is actually what creates transformation. And June is kind of this, in my opinion, upheaval. A lot of people are talking about freedom in June. I'm feeling like June is still kind of really volatile. It's still kind of like really rocky. There's still a lot of stuff going on underneath the surface for me when I tap in. And when I go big, really big, yes, things are really moving forward in a grand way with ease and grace. But down here on earth plane, it still feels pretty rocky to me and a lot of my clients. I'm seeing many, many, many of my clients really struggling with, coming to terms with, gosh, now COVID is changing and we're getting out again and I'm having to traverse life differently and I'm having to find a new normal, whatever that means. And so we've got a lot going on. There's a lot of different things. So we can get caught up in overwhelm. We can also want to get out in wishful thinking or fantasizing and not moving forward in either of those. So it's important for us to look at the message of this Cups card, the Seven of Cups card, in terms of focusing on transformation and change. So wishing, fantasy, looking at what we really want and just pondering it and checking out for a while can be very powerful because it can be the first steps in the tool of transformation. But if we don't follow through, it can be escapism and it can lead to intoxication. And I don't just mean, like drinking or smoking. I can be intoxicated with just the fantasizing, with the wishing. I can get stuck on TikTok for hours. I mean, we can just check out of reality, and this is not advantageous to us right now because there's choices to be made. There is, we don't want to get caught up in the craziness of what's happening right now. There needs to be a balance in terms of how we are traversing and navigating the truth of our reality. This card also talks an awful lot about, using our inner vision, our higher source energy, really turning to our guides and our guidance, really looking at it from a perspective of stepping back. So this again can be a checking out. We can check out of our actual physical form and move into that observer mode a little bit and really get in connection with our higher self, our guidance, our guides, whatever forms that we have out there, our angelics, our benevolence, whatever form of guidance that we want to talk about. We can step out of these meat bodies for a little bit of time, and we can look at changing that vision of meat and bone body into transformation of divine. This container is no longer just a thing. We are the divine. We are the source. We are not just a meat and bone container. We are essence. We are God source. We are vision. We are looking, hearing, being, co-creating in the eyes of God source energy in this vehicle. And this is a huge step of transformation for us to move into a space of completely being and transforming and co-creating our wishes. So this can be a very, very powerful month when we learn how to actually navigate the turbulence, when we learn how to wish and focus all at the same time. Our manifestation skills will be crazy off the charts. We have a lot of supportive energies coming in with our solar eclipse. We have a lot of planetary alignments. Even our retrograde can work to our advantage. So I believe that June is going to be kind of upsy downsy, but hey, who doesn't like a roller coaster if we learn how to just let our hands go up and ride with truth and integrity inside of us, knowing everything's already just fine. So something to think about. Check it out further on my website at sworthly.com if you choose to, and find out what Vibe Tribe is fully about, because we give you a lot more information there. Until next month, everybody, cosmic hugs.